Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood now at 6 a.m.
Now on News 6 Mornings, a deadly shooting investigators say started with the sale of some AirPods. A man killed. How you can protect yourself when it comes to selling items online.
Plus, Osceola County Sheriff cited following the release of a photo showing the body of a murdered 13-year-old girl. What state prosecutors are asking him to do.
And big developments in results 2024. Vice President Kamala Harris gaining support in her presidential bid. What we are learning about the chances of her getting the Democratic nomination. Good morning on your Tuesday to 6 a.m. I'm Crystal Moyer.
I'm Bridget Ellison. Trooper Steve's watching your roads, and Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos here with some increased rain chances.
A little bit more and a little earlier start, which is certainly some good news. If you're kind of done with the heat, this will at least keep temperatures a little cooler than yesterday. Now, cooler's relative. I'm just letting you know it's not cooler. Looking at those temperatures out the door right now, it is a warm start, although it's the coolest point of the day. We're in the mid-70s right now. We have finally dropped out of the 80s there in Cocoa Beach, now holding on to 79 degrees, 76 in the Villages, 73 degrees in Wildwood. So as we look at your Launch Credit Union camera now over Cape Canaveral, we have the exploration. Whoa, woo! That was fun. We're waiting for the sun starting to rise across the coast there. We're at 79 degrees. Now you know what I sound like on a roller coaster. All right, looking here at the radar, we are still dealing with some scattered showers out to sea, kind of a precursor to that added moisture in the atmosphere. So rain chances for today will be increasing pretty quick. A little earlier in the day, between about 2 and 3 o'clock, your coverage up to about a 70%. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your traffic. I didn't mean to say that.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens with live TV. Candace and I, our camera in front of us is literally blank. There is nothing in front of it, and we're just talking to you right now. So whatever happens, happens. 434 Douglas still looking good this morning. No major problems. No woos over in traffic, so let's keep it that way, please. No crashes to report. Altamont Springs down to Goldenrod to Aloma, down to 408, no problem. Then I wanted to jump out here to Four Corners. Currently 27 and 192, not seeing any issues east or westbound. So if you're still here, summer visiting from us from out of town, you're clear. East 192, Earlo Bronson, past Margaritaville into the Disney Resort area. Guys, back to you.
All right, Trooper Steve. Developing right now, the search for answers continues after a man was shot and killed in what police are calling a senseless tragedy. The 22-year-old was gunned down while trying to sell a pair of AirPods. This happened Saturday night near West 3rd Street and Pomegranate Avenue in Sanford, about a half a mile south of HCA Hospital. Officers say following the shooting, the victim crashed his truck into a pond. Now police are issuing a warning when it comes to meeting strangers to buy or sell items. News 6's Ezzy Castro is live at the sheriff's office now, and there is actually a safe zone there, Ezzy.
That's right, Bridget. So where I'm standing, I'm right outside the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, and right behind me, you can see that yellow sign right over there. That is a safe place sign. And so if you want to buy or sell an item to strangers, this would be the place to do so. So the Sanford Police Chief released a statement saying his detectives are working diligently to find those two suspects, and they are offering a reward of up to $5,000 for information that can lead to an arrest. Meantime, we actually have a list of all the safe places here in Seminole County. You can watch that on clickorlando.com. For now, live outside the Seminole County Sheriff's Office, Ezzy Castro, and Results News 6.
Ezzy, thanks.
In Results 2024 news, Vice President Kamala Harris is hitting the campaign trail today with a rally in Wisconsin. It comes after several media outlets, including CBS and the Associated Press, say she has enough delegates to win her party's presidential nomination. Vice President Harris stopped by campaign headquarters in Delaware yesterday, just one day after President Biden ended his re-election campaign and endorsed her. And already she's coming out swinging against the Republican presidential nominee, Donald Trump.
I was a courtroom prosecutor. In those roles, I took on perpetrators of all kinds. Fraudsters who ripped off consumers. Cheaters who broke the rules for their own gain. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type.
Meantime, the Trump Vance campaign also putting out their own message saying Vice President Harris is, quote, worse than Biden, end quote.
Calls for the head of the Secret Service to step down continue to grow this morning following the assassination attempt of former President Trump. It comes after a heated hearing on Capitol Hill.
Someone should have had eyes on that building all the way around outside so no one ever got on top of that building.
Kimberly Cheadle testified before a group of bipartisan lawmakers yesterday and took full responsibility for what she called the most significant operation of Secret Service in decades. However, she would not go into detail about how the gunman was able to get onto the roof or if he was able to fly a drone over the rally prior to firing his shots.
Turning to Lake County now, where Leesburg just became the latest city in Central Florida to add speed zone cameras in school zones. And commissioners voted unanimously to add the cameras near 7 schools, including Leesburg High. After a warning period, anyone caught going 10 miles or more over the posted speed limit when the zone is active would automatically get a $100 ticket in the mail. It comes after Eustis, also in Lake County, turned on their school zone speed cameras in April.
Students across Central Florida are preparing to head back to school. Now's a good time to make sure your kids stay safe while heading to and from class. Florida Highway Patrol says there's been nearly 900 bicycle crashes in Central Florida so far this year. And last year, there were just over 1,600 with 49 total deaths and 1,500 injuries. News 6's Mark Lehman is taking a closer look at what you can do to get results and prepare your student. Joining us live, Mark, there are several things to keep in mind here.
Yeah, wearing a bicycle helmet is, of course, one of the biggest safety measures, but it's also good to talk to your kids about things like always watching out for cars and how to cross at intersections. Lessons like these are so important, especially after we've seen the devastating consequences that can happen when a child is involved in a crash while on their way to school. Some other important things to keep in mind are always riding with traffic, following the rules of the road, and making sure your helmets are properly fitted, especially on kids. Now, we'll be going more in depth on bicycle safety measures coming up in our next report at 6:30. For now, reporting live in Orange County, Mark Lehman, getting results, News 6.
Great information there, Mark. Thank you. Turning back to weather now with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Maybe you're on your bike, riding your bike today, and that sprinkle starts to come down, and you know that rain is coming.
You got to go. You got to go.
Go fast.
And you know what? Listen, if you are planning some of those outdoor activities with the kids or family, whatnot, it's still, summer break still across most parts of Central Florida. The rain chances are going to start a little earlier than yesterday, so just do be aware of that. Now, the good news with that is that temperatures won't heat up as much as they did yesterday. Take a live look outside. We were starting to see the horizon there, the lights starting to kind of twinkle. Still downtown Orlando Skycam, 75 degrees right now, but we had that thunder moon or the buck moon a couple of nights ago, and of course we have some great photos there. Please remember to send us your photos, whether it's your pets, whether it's the moon, rain, storms, rainbows, whatever the case may be. We'd love to see it. If you have a question about weather, what cloud is this, you can also send that and ask us a question. We'll hopefully be able to answer it. Atmospheric moisture, we are seeing some deep tropical moisture in the forecast today. We are going to start drying out, though, later on this week. We'll be pinpointing the fluctuation of those rain chances coming up in a bit. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
You can almost use Pin It as like just your direct way of sending us stuff. Like seriously, to include what the honks. If you see crazy stuff on the street, that's instead of emailing it, post it there. I will take it. Our editor Kelly will clip it and we will show it. Four Corners looking good out on the west side. No problems right now. Eastbound I-4. It just turned yellow, so get ready. Over here by Champions Gate between 429, not bumper to bumper just yet, so please be careful. Gets back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. It's 6:11 on your Tuesday. A bizarre scene on board a Southwest Airlines flight under investigation.
What happened over the coast of Florida that has the FAA asking some questions?
But first, a Maitland woman's trip ruined by a hotel fire reaches out to the News 6 investigators. Up next, what we did to help get her money back and the steps you need to take before booking your next getaway.
This portion of the news is brought to you by Orlando Health.
It's really about getting the truth, trying to dig down and figure out how this story impacts you.
These stories matter, not just to us, but to the entire community.
We want to make sure you have everything you need to know, that we answer all of your questions.
Now we're breaking down the whole story, what matters to you, and getting the answers you want.
Because that's what you need to know before you go to bed.
News 6 at 11.
Kamala Harris' sorority sister. What was the beat like in college? Watch the next Inside Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on News 6.
New this morning, chances are if you've traveled, you've probably had to cancel a reservation, and you know it could just be frustrating trying to get a refund in some cases. So imagine what a Maitland woman went through when the hotel she had a reservation at burned down and they refused to give her money back. So she contacted News 6 investigator Eric Sandoval to help her get results.
Well, a South Dakota teen has created a runway-worthy gown completely out of duct tape.
Take a look. The high school senior says it all started when she saw a scholarship contest called Stuck at Prom, which required students to create a dress out of the sticky stuff. She got to work, and 160 hours and 80 rolls of duct tape later created this masterpiece. And in case you're wondering, Victoria's dress came in as runner-up in the most runway-worthy contest and received a $1,000 scholarship. Wow.
At least it's waterproof.
Yeah, that is true.
The water just slicks right off the dress.
Stain-proof?
Yeah, stain-proof.
Wrinkle-proof.
Wrinkle-proof. I see potential in that world. Let's talk about how you're going to need waterproof stuff like an umbrella, as we are going to be tracking a little more rain in the forecast for today. Steve's looking at me funny. Scattered storms already being picked up just offshore there. Of course, most of that will be staying offshore this morning, but throughout the day, that's just kind of a little sign that we have some of that moisture on both coasts. We have rain out over the Atlantic. We got some scattered storms being picked up out over the Gulf of Mexico. So the combination, as those sea breezes come together, they will have a little more available moisture to actually produce a little more rain. So let's talk about those weather stories for today. First, let's talk about the heat. Highs today could be actually the coolest day of the week, just because we'll have that earlier start to the rain. Although the feels like temperatures, they'll be back into those triple digits. And then when it comes to the storm chances, they will be upwards, up to about 60 to 70% across our inland zone. Still right along the immediate coastline, we could stay mainly dry, and then we'll really dry things out throughout the rest of the week. And speaking of some drier air, or at least some dustier air, we are still tracking a whole lot of Saharan dust that is still encompassing the majority of the tropical Atlantic. And even here in Central Florida, we are going to see a little bit of a reprieve from some of this dust starting Tuesday afternoon into Wednesday and Thursday, Friday as well. But you can see just on the heels of that last plume of dust, we're looking at the approach of another one possibly later on this weekend into early next week. Temperatures out the door on this Tuesday. It is it's a muggy start. 75 in Orlando, 77 degrees right now in Leesburg. But of course, we are once again going to be feeling back into the triple digits. It's going to take a lot for us not to be feeling like this every afternoon. So of course, we're going to be dealing with that. But as of now, most of these temperatures will stay below any heat advisory criteria. So let's talk about the rain that's going to help keep temperatures a little cooler today. You can see scattered storms will start to develop by about 2 o'clock, basically right along 95 in areas to the west. That east coast sea breeze will continue to track further west, producing more scattered showers as far west as 75. Then we're looking at more of that collision happening late in the day, about 8 and 9 o'clock. Could see a few more rumbles of thunder, some strikes of lightning as the sun goes down. And then throughout the overnight, we are looking dry. Then we're going to tap into some drier air. You can see very limited rain, limited cloud cover for your Wednesday and Thursday, which means those temperatures are going to be climbing. Now let's check on that hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
94 will be your high today with your rain coverage upwards about 70%. And you can see as we start to see less rain, temperatures will start to heat up a little further. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Things still nice out here on a Tuesday. Hope we can keep it that way. But the slowdowns are starting here at Champions Gate eastbound. No crash yet, but right when you come over the overpass here, get on the brakes, watch out for it, and it clears up over at 429. Poinciana Boulevard, nice and close here over at Orange Blossom Trail without any school. You guys don't see those delays. So Poinciana, you're good. Cypress Parkway towards Pleasant Hill and then northbound. Jumping on the other side of the lake here, looking at the Florida Turnpike out at Kissimmee Park Road. Nice and Q word for you guys in St. Cloud. If you're getting ready to head north, it's all yours. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. Listen up, insiders. Monster Jam is roaring back into Central Florida. News 6 is giving you the chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the August 3rd event. All you have to do is sign up for free to be a News 6 insider and then enter as many times as you want each day through July 30th. We'll choose 5 lucky winners. Just head to clickorlando.com/insider.
Well, the time now, 6:21. A local county considering new steps to warn people about bears.
At the bottom of the hour, the ordinance being considered in Seminole County that would require new signs in some neighborhoods.
But first, a new warning when it comes to the development of diabetes in children. Up next, why the risk may be different for boys and girls.
I'm News 6 investigator Lewis Bold, and tomorrow on News 6 Mornings, many have died after being shocked with a law enforcement taser. Rap, rap. Now a company is pushing a less lethal option. Some Central Florida officers are already using it, but our investigation found a drawback. That's tomorrow on News 6 Mornings, beginning at 5 a.m.
This portion of the news is sponsored by the Flooring Center. Get the latest news, weather, and more from the News 6 Plus streaming app. Visit the Apple TV App Store to download the News 6 Plus app today. Breaking news, traffic. When you need to know what's going on in your neighborhood, trust Sky 6 to get the bigger picture. Exclusively sponsored by attorney Dan Newland.
Now to a health alert when it comes to kids and the likelihood of developing diabetes. It turns out there's a difference when it comes to boys and girls with this. And a new study out of the UK found that up until the age of 10, the risk of developing type 1 diabetes is the same for boys and girls. And then after that, the risk drastically decreased for girls. Researchers found that following age 10, boys saw an increase in autoantibodies, which are immune proteins that attack a person's own tissues or organs.
Now to your money and a warning for parents getting ready to send those kids back to class. Get ready to spend more on back-to-school shopping. The National Retail Federation is predicting families with children through high school plan to spend an average of just over $847 on those school supplies, clothes, and electronics. That's the second highest amount in the survey's history. Now, for college students, experts say expect to dish out around $1,300 for the upcoming semester. While families are focusing on back-to-school, retailers already setting their sights on holiday shopping.
Oh boy, so that includes the battle for this year's hottest toys, and it might be on your kids' wish list. Experts say some of the favorites from our childhood are still strong, like the Ninja Turtles in Jurassic Park with a comeback. Another possible pick, Peanut here, who walks, sings, and has more than 100 interactions. And then there's Poe, who's expected to be a hit, an AI storytelling bear here that can use an app to create custom stories.
Well, still to come on News 6 Mornings, a local sheriff cited.
And at the bottom of the hour, the fine Marcos Lopez is facing following the release of a photo showing a 13-year-old murder victim.
Plus, it's being called a senseless tragedy. A man shot to death while trying to sell a pair of earbuds. Coming up, what you could do to protect yourself when selling items online. You're watching News 6 Mornings, getting results for Titusville, Eatonville, and all of Central Florida.
My wife's been in and out of the hospital. This was really going to help out.
So when you need results,
Go to Channel 6.
Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results.
It's actually sad to lose the life of a pair of headphones.
A young man expecting to sell his headphones is met with gunfire. The search for his killer and locations designed to make these types of meetups safer.
And News 6 has just learned that a local sheriff is being cited by the state over an accidental Instagram post showing a graphic crime scene.
Thanks for staying with us at 6:30 on your Tuesday. I'm Bridget Ellison.
And I'm Crystal Moyer. We'll have those stories ahead. But as always, we're going to start with a check of your pinpoint weather with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. We are still talking about increasing chances for rain in the forecast for today. So if you didn't get any rain yesterday, you have a little bit of a better shot today. Also starting a little earlier in the day. So water vapor imagery doesn't show a whole lot just yet, but we will start to see a big blow up of that green as we continue to see moisture surging in from the south and from the west. So as we get that east to west coast sea breeze colliding today, rain chances will look like this. Upwards about 60 to 70% across our inland zones, a little lower at about 50% along the coastline. But we are going to be tapping into some drier air later on this week, starting Wednesday and especially come Thursday. So you notice there is a difference in our rain chances for Thursday, dropping off down to about a 30 to 50 50% chance. So certainly today will be the wettest day of the week. And some areas still desperately need some rain. Just within the last 7 days, you can see where the sea breezes have been colliding for the last week or so. You can see between 3, 6, even 7 inches of rain across areas of northwestern Orange County. But areas in Brevard County still barely seeing any rain, which is why we're still dealing with a moderate drought there in Brevard County. We'll have more details on the timing and the location of today's rain coming up in just a bit. Now let's check on those roadways on this Tuesday with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
Things still looking nice out here this morning. Kissimmee, if you're hitting the road, St. Cloud, hopping on State Road 91, Florida Turnpike at Kissimmee Park Road, you're good to go. No problems right there. Things are running nice and smooth, to include Nolte Road and Kissimmee Park Road out in the southern portions of St. Cloud. Narcoossee, you guys are also in the clear. I do have a minor crash in Brevard County here at Sarno Road at Apollo Boulevard. Guys, back to you.
A few miles away along the Ocklawaha River, Florida Fish and Wildlife agents are investigating a boating accident that left a woman dead. According to the FWC, 8 people were on a pontoon boat near Nelson's Fish Camp yesterday afternoon when a woman fell off. Officials told us she was injured from the boat's propeller and died on her way to the hospital. FWC offered their condolences to the woman's family.
Well, school's almost here for all students across Central Florida, meaning we'll see more kids out crossing the roads in our neighborhoods. And when it comes to crashes involving pedestrians, there have been more than 1,000 of them in Central Florida this year. News 6's Mark Lehman is outside with our own Trooper Steve addressing a lot of these safety issues that come up with drivers and our students with the school year getting ready to start. And it comes down to safety.
Yeah, and it's so important when you think of how many kids are going to be riding their bikes to and from school in the next couple of weeks. So that's why we're with News 6 traffic safety expert Trooper Steve. All right, Trooper Steve, thank you very much. It's also important to remember the rules of the road when kids are going to and from school. Go with traffic as well as they're heading off, for everyone to stay safe as school is back in session in just a few weeks from now. Crystal?
Thanks, Mark. And we're back with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. Another tip here, maybe find a backup for those bike riders just in case some heavy rain is in the forecast, right?
Very, very much so, especially on the way home from school. Show of hands, who's ready for the kids to go back to school? Me. All right, taking a live look outside Daytona Beach Sky Cam. We're going to be dealing with some of that rain if you are dropping the kids off at summer camp. We'll have that forecast in just a moment. But you can see we are starting to see that sunrise, but a whole lot of cloud cover out there over the beaches. And that is because we are dealing with some tropical moisture that is going to continue to kind of juice up our atmosphere a bit, adding to more rain in the forecast. We're at 77 degrees right now. The winds, though, very calm. So if you are planning on heading out to the beaches, the coastline right along the immediate coast is where we will be seeing our best shot for kind of the drier day today. Temperatures have been in the low 90s. We still have that moderate risk of rip currents. Out the door right now along the coastline. Good morning to you guys there in Titusville at 77. Same temperature in Melbourne and Daytona Beach. And then further inland, we're all pretty much holding on into those mid 70s. So here's our summer camp forecast brought to you by Orlando Health. We are going to continue to start off in those 70s and then into the afternoon. 94 will be our forecast high by about 3. And that's when rain will start to creep up. So if the kids are going to be at summer camp after 3 o'clock, they might need their rain gear. We'll show you more the timing of today's rain and where we will have that best shot for those scattered showers and storms coming up in just a little bit. Back to you, ladies.
Thank you, Candace. 641, Trooper Steve will be back in a minute to answer a traffic safety question about CBD.
Can you get a DUI for having the legal supplement in your system? Plus, so many choices of toothpaste. Which one's best for your kids? I'll introduce you to an expert who narrowed down the list of safe options.
This portion of the news is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans. Get the latest news, weather, and more from the News 6 Plus streaming app. Download the News 6 Plus app from the Android TV App Store today.
In less than a month, voters will head to the polls or the mailbox to cast their ballot in the upcoming primary election. If you're planning to vote by mail, August 8th is the last day to request a ballot to be mailed to you. Local election officials told us the demand for those ballots is way down from 2022.
It is down, but it inflated over from 2020 from folks that were voting based on COVID-19.
The deadline to register to vote in the primaries passed, but you can still register before the November election.
Well, parents, are you taking your child's dental health seriously? Dentists agree choosing the right toothpaste and brush for your kids is crucial. And today's Insider Consumer Reports evaluates popular toothpaste to find the best options for your kids. All right, so I want to ask y'all, do you think kids can use adult toothpaste?
I remember the answer.
Yes. Maybe.
Yes, as long as it contains fluoride and it doesn't contain any other ingredients that, will address other health concerns like cavity prevention, gum disease, or teeth whitening. So very important there. I posted more options for your children's toothpaste and toothbrushes on clickorlando.com/insider.
The kid ones are more fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saying all the names of the sparkling white toothpaste.
Yeah, sparkling
strawberry
fun birthday cake. Yeah. My question is, how much toothpaste should they be eating?
Oh.
I'm going through a lot of toothpaste in a short amount of time.
At
Where
least
is that
they're
toothpaste
brushing.
going?
The idea of someone wanting to brush their teeth with a birthday cake?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Have you met my children?
Yeah, but they're cute. So
and their breath smells like birthday cake. All right, as we look at the temperatures out the door, right now we are in the mid-70s, and we're going to continue to climb back into those upper 70s as we head into 8, even 9 o'clock in the morning. But look how quickly our feels like temperatures will go from feeling like the upper 70s up to feeling like the mid-90s by 10, 11 o'clock. And we'll be holding in those triple digits for a few hours today as our actual air temperature hits about 94. Now today, technically will be the coolest day of the week, as we are going to start seeing the rain and storms a little earlier and a little more widespread than earlier. As we look here at the radar, you can see plenty of those scattered storms, plenty of lightning out over the open waters. That's kind of the precursor. It's hinting to the point that we are going to be seeing a little more rain than previous days. So you can see Tuesday, more storms will be around. Our coverage goes up to about a 70%. So if you haven't been packing the umbrella in the back seat, not the trunk, but the back seat, make sure you're grabbing that as you're heading out the door. It's still going to be another hot day, though. Even though I'm using the word cooler, it's all relative. We are still feeling those triple digits. Then throughout the rest of the week, we're going to drop those rain chances a bit. Increased temperatures, though, on the flip side of that. And then when it comes to the tropics, we have a lot of Saharan dust to monitor, but nothing really too concerning when it comes to actual significant development of the tropics. So nothing expected within at least the next 2 to 7 days, according to the National Hurricane Center. See a big plume of that Saharan dust rotating off the coast of Africa. Here in Central Florida, we are kind of dealing with kind of the residual from that last plume that moved over. And most of it will finally clear out of Central Florida. We'll have a little bit of a break from that dust starting up on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday as well. But you can see what's coming our way. Another round of Saharan dust could be moving in by early next week. In the meantime, though, here come those scattered storms today. Your coverage up to about 70%, starting about 2 a.m., tracking inland, colliding with those afternoon showers and thunderstorms there from the west coast sea breeze. Could fire up a couple more rounds of rain and storms as late as about 8, 9 o'clock, and then we'll bring down those rain chances and keep them pretty low for your Wednesday and Thursday. Now let's check on your hour-by-hour forecast for today.
Your forecast is sponsored by Freedom Health Medicare Advantage plans.
Again, an earlier start to the rain will be keeping temperatures in the mid to low 90s. And as we get results here with your full 7-day forecast, lower rain chances, more heat is in the forecast with highs back into the mid to upper 90s. Now let's check on those roadways with Trooper Steve. He's got your pinpoint traffic.
You guys remember the smelly markers back in the day? It wasn't for you, Candace. She bought some, and they're here. It smells so good. Sarno at Apollo Boulevard. We're going to call this clear in South Brevard, over in the O'Galley area, so just be careful. Outside of that, we're doing pretty good this morning. Central areas of Brevard County, all clear. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Trooper Steve. A crime scene photo accidentally posted to social media is now leading to consequences.
Yes, still ahead, the disturbing mistake that prompted investigators to issue a citation to the sheriff. That's next as we check our big stories.
Discover the magic of color at Crayola Experience, Orlando's most colorful hands-on family attraction.
It's 6:54. Let's check our big stories. New overnight court records show Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez is being cited with a civil penalty for accidentally posting a crime scene photo on social media. The photo showed the body of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Sheriff Lopez has been cited with a non-criminal infraction. Ezzy.
The Sanford police are looking for those responsible for killing a 22-year-old man over the weekend. They say that Brandon Leo was on West 3rd Street in Sanford to sell a pair of headphones when he was ambushed Saturday night. Moments later, shots were fired and he ended up driving into a retention pond. But by the time crews got there, it was already too late. A reward is being offered for any information on this case. You can call Crime Line at 800-423-TIPS. Mark.
With students across Central Florida getting ready to head back to school, now is a good time to talk to your kids about bicycle safety. Wearing a helmet, of course, is one of the biggest measures, but it's also good to talk to your kids about looking out for cars and how to cross at intersections. Lessons like these are so important because we've seen the devastating consequences that can happen when a child is involved in a crash while on their way to school. Bridget?
All right, Mark. And speaking of safety, coming up at 7:30 on News 6 Plus Breakfast with Bridget, we'll be talking about grilling and making sure that that's safe and some healthier options too, Candace.
Oh, that's interesting to go with my pool forecast, right? Rain chances out the door right now. We are seeing our coverage upwards about 60 to 70%. Just do be aware. A little earlier start to the day, starting up right along 95, pushing inland throughout the afternoon. We, of course, will be bringing the very latest coming up at noon with the latest round of our models. But overall, looking at a better chance for some rain and storms. Temperatures, though, in the meantime, mid-90s.
Nice. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll be back in 25 minutes.
Remember, we break news on clickorlando.com.
And CBS Mornings is up next. Have a great day.
Ride safely, please.
Your Trooper Steve bike, that's nice.
There's only one.
We love our News 6 insiders. We appreciate that.
You know, you become an insider and you win.